The plant transport system is comprised of three main organs. These organs are roots and shoots. Shoots are comprised of stems and leaves. Each of these organs and the elements they are made up of have adapted over time. Leaves have adapted in order to absorb light to perform photosynthesis. Within the leaves, there is chlorophyll to absorb sunlight, a network of veins to support the leaf structurally and transport water and carbohydrates. The roots of a plant are located underground. Their main functions include anchorage, absorption of water and minerals, and the transportation of these minerals and water to the stem. The root is the first organ to appear when a seed first germinates. The stem of a plant is the main axis of the plant. It produces buds and leaves and is connected to the roots. It can be anything from the stem of a flower to the trunk of a tree. Plants, specifically the plant transport system, is made up of three main tissue systems: the dermal tissue system, the ground tissue system, and the vascular tissue system. Each of these systems contain different cells which all complete a different task. This is called cell specialization. The dermal tissue system is a thin layer of cells or a skin-like structure which, much like skin on an animal, surrounds and covers the entire plant above and below ground. Two dermal tissues together make up what is known as the dermal tissue system. This system contains the epidermis and the periderm. The epidermis is primarily found growing at the tips of roots, creating a meristem, called protoderm, which is the only place in plants where cells divide. If a secondary growth occurs, the periderm takes the place and function of the epidermis. Epidermal cells are coated in a layer of wax that is called the cuticle. This wax keeps water within the plant and allows rain, water, and dewdrops to run off the leaves easily. The ground tissue system makes up most of what we know as non-woody plants. The ground tissue system can be split up into three different tissues: parenchyma, which fills the most volume; collenchyma, which helps with the structural integrity and are usually located in the area of the plant which is elongating; and sclerenchyma, which adds strength to parts of the plant which are not or are no longer elongating. The vascular tissue system is the system responsible for the transport of nutrients, sugar, and water within the plant. Within the vascular tissue system, the cells include xylem cells, which are long, narrow tubes responsible for conducting water, and phylem cells, which are long, narrow, and stacked together. Phylem cells transport sugar and nutrients around the plant's body. All organisms' chance of survival can either be increased or decreased depending on their hierarchical nature. In most plants, the hierarchy begins with organs and goes as follows: roots, stems, and leaves, followed by tissues, dermal, vascular, and ground, and finally, cells. The elements are obviously in this order for a reason. The organs may be considered the most important part of the plant for many reasons. If we specifically look at land plants, over time it was water plants that adapted to be able to live on land. Adaptations such as body support, the stem, and transport of materials, leaf veins, are just two examples of elements of plant organs that have changed to suit their environment. Many plants have also developed many ways to repel and deter predators, defense mechanisms including thorns, poisons, and spines. It is safe to say that the organ's ability to defend the plant from predators is one of the main reasons that they are the most important in the hierarchy. Next, we have tissues and cells. Plant tissues and cells, which as I mentioned before, are responsible for everything that happens within the plant. Due to cell specialization, Each, each of the cells have a different roles. A logical reason that these two elements of plants are below the organs in the hierarchy is because without the organs protecting the tissues and cells, they would not be able to function correctly. Tissues and cells, however, are able to increase a plant's chance of survival because they transport water and minerals and retain water within the plant. Plants in the plant transport system have adapted over time in order to enhance their chance of survival.